Hello, everyone. It is time for sunshine. I'm here with the great Laura Ortiz, relocation specialist, realtor, Anchor Real Estate. Laura, thank you so much for hopping on here with me. I think we have some very valuable information to go over for potential people who are looking to relocate to Florida, invest in Florida, retire in Florida. We have some special info here. I think you guys are going to get a lot out of this. So without further ado, Laura, how's it going?
Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction, Alex. I appreciate it. And well, it's hot. It's really hot. We're going into fall, and I don't notice any shift in the seasons, but it's good. I'm excited for what's coming. There's tons of inventory getting added on the market. There's new construction being pulled on, things that are vamping up and being ready in the next couple months. So those are things we can look into as well. But tell me a little bit about the lending options or what you can do for an out-of-state buyer. Like,
Yeah.
what are some of the processes or the steps they need to take?
Right. And it really depends on, what your situation is. So I'm Alex Pagano. I'm a loan officer with CrossCountry Mortgage, the Pagano team. And I've been helping people move to Florida for years now. So we have some great tools and programs here that can help you get into a home, even if you think it might be out of your reach. So we're going to go over some of these programs. And I'm up in Philadelphia and you're down there in Orlando. So
Yeah.
if you're, from New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey, the Midwest, out West, this is really going to help you understand what you need to do. And we can help develop a plan for you to get on down to the Sunshine State. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So, I mean, let's talk a little bit about the market in Florida. So you're Central Florida, primarily, but
Yeah.
you kind of deal. I know you were talking like you were over in like Palm Harbor. You go over to like the coast, the Atlantic coast. Tell me a little bit more about your spread in the areas in Florida.
So basically, I grew up in Florida. I was born in Colombia, but raised here. So I'm basically Florida grown. I visited beaches growing up. I've had time to go to both coasts, so either St. Pete or New Smyrna. I know the areas very well from going to school here as well. Went to Stetson, that's over by Deltona and Upton Land. So big demographic of what I can reach. And as an MLS agent, I do have access to a plethora of homes from anywhere from St. Pete to Palm Coast. So I've driven literally in a day to both directions. So
Yeah.
I can show you just about anything. And each side really just adheres to a different, type of person. You have St. Pete, which is right next to Anna Maria, which is calmer. It's less party vibes and more like residential homes, but because of what's happened in Tampa and the boom with I think we got Tom Brady over there
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
sports. But I understand that he's there and it's brought a ton of traction to Tampa itself. And St. Pete is really close to Tampa.
And
So,
what's been going on with Tampa? I mean, what are all these like championships and all these sports teams like? This is
so we
crazy.
got Tom Brady and he started killing it. Apparently, just it went, then he brought in, I think his name's Grunk, and they
Yeah.
doing their thing. And
If
it's,
you're from New England, that's the place to go, right? If you're from there and then you want to move to Florida, you got to go over to Tampa. That's great.
even the big sports guys are moving down south. So that people are. And we've seen a huge trend that a lot of businesses and a lot of companies have migrated to Florida. And Tampa's one of those, and Orlando as well for Disney. In the next couple of years, we're going to see, Disney moving their whole California corporation down to Lake Nona, which is just a couple minutes from where I focus in on and where my office is in Orlando. So there's tons of options, whether you're looking for coastal living or you're looking for an innovative little town that offers, their dream is to have like the first neighborhood with flying cars, which is like pretty cool. And they have like these cars that drive you around the community that are self-driving, and it's super cool out there. Or if you're just looking for a little peaceful historic district like New Smyrna, has like a beautiful beach town that they treasure for their community.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like on an investor side, if you're looking to buy an investment property down in Florida, maybe something where you spend a couple of weeks out of the year or something where you want to do like Airbnb or those kind of investments. What kind of areas have you seen, appreciation in or a great ROI on an investment down there?
So when I talk about investments, I really want to find out like what type of investor are you? Are you more into a long-term investment or short-term? If we're going into that aspect, not all parts of Orlando and Florida allow short-term rentals. So you need to be very cautious when going that route short-term. But being an agent who I specialize on short-term rentals, and I've toured a couple, properties that people, they relate to Airbnb, even though it's technically a short-term rental. Airbnb's became the synonymous name for it. The area perfect for that'll allow you to do it freely with barely to any sanctions is Kissimmee in Orlando. If you're looking to invest by Disney, they have no like laws or rules against Airbnbs. They know that people do it quite often, and there's huge communities that are resort style, have resort style amenities, whirlpools. They're huge. Like my clients purchased recently, and they let me stay, and it was a whole experience. Like you go in there, and they're catering to you at every moment, and they're not just homes you can vacation in. They're homes you can eventually retire to. So if that's something that you want to do, you're just basically going to be retiring to a resort style community where there's tons of amenities, and golf courses are everywhere. So that's something we do often in Florida as well. You retire and then pick up golf, which I have not done. But that's awesome. So Kissimmee, if you're looking for Orlando and Disney type of investment properties. And if you're looking for coastal beaches, it just depends on the beach. But I know Treasure Island over in St. Pete as well has high numbers. Properties tend to be a little more costly on the coast because obviously those are beach views. And then over in New Smyrna, you have like Daytona, because the Daytona 500. A lot of people, come migrate for that and go visit that. But Daytona Beach and depends on housing, but definitely communities to look at in Orlando would be Solterra, Champions Gate, Reunion, Encore, and Story Lake. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot. So just from living up here in the Philadelphia area and going to Florida, because gone to Florida numerous times. I've gone vacation Central Florida, Fort Lauderdale. I've been to Tampa, Sarasota. A big popular communities, the Westgate timeshare community, and that's actually in Kissimmee, right? That area there.
Yeah, funny that you mentioned Westgate. I actually worked for them when I started my career, what piqued my career. I was like, oh yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah. But yeah, Westgate is a huge conglomerate of. It's a small Orlando-based hotel chain that has just kind of exploded into having hotels anywhere from New York to California to I think they have some in Tennessee. Like they're just everywhere now. But yes, people love buying into Florida for timeshare. I couldn't do it for long because you're not buying real estate. You're buying a slice of time to stay in that real estate 7 days out of the year, right? Or 5, whatever they stipulate. And if you don't want to go, you just kind of lose that time, right? You can't really roll it over. And the beauty of it and why they sold so well is because they're selling Orlando. You're basically selling Universal, Disney, and that, those memories and those moments with your families. Because coming down to Florida is very expensive. I have clients here now that are like, we are considering not even going to Disney because tickets right now are like $500 or more, $700 for like a group of 3. So
wow,
it's very expensive, and people typically save and come with groups of families. And that's why a lot of people ask me like, oh, should I go into the 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom? No, realistically, if you're trying to invest, you want to do a 5-bedroom above. And there's bedrooms in Florida and in communities, like I mentioned, that go up to 10, 12, 15 bedrooms to accommodate those bigger families. Wow. So people come with like 5 to 6 families deep. Their family reunions are here. So it just makes it an easy accommodation to stay, enjoy, buy their own food, and kind of feel at home. Mm-hmm. But on vacation.
And that's a big point too. If you're relocating to Florida, like if your family is somewhere else in the country and they want to come visit you because, hey, everyone wants to go to Disney or Universal, you're going to have room for them. So that's definitely a factor to consider in when you're looking at real estate down there.
Yeah, and it's a great experience, but you really need to know where you're investing because some properties don't do as well as others. Mm-hmm. And, agents to sell you a home will just sell you any home, not pulling the comps on it, not pulling, the numbers or stats on what that home could, potentially make. That's why I always recommend, whether you work with me or not, find a realtor who's well educated on the investment side, specifically short term, because anyone can pull comps on a long-term rental, but you really need to know how to analyze the ROI on a short-term property.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, I want to do this webinar with you, because I know you're well versed in this, and you're awesome. So
Thank you. Definitely
you're crushing
appreciate
it. Yeah. So, all right, let's give a situation out here, right? So this is for our people who are looking to relocate. So, you get pre-approved with a lender like me, big name lender, cross country, solid team, and you want to move to Florida. So get pre-approved, what are the next steps on your end? When you're, in a different state and you're not able to just look at properties right away. How would you go about this process?
So I have a lot of out-of-state buyers that, I build trust over, weeks or however long that it's necessary to build that trust, so that I can just tell them, hey, I'm going to go do a virtual tour. I'll add them on Zoom. I'll do a FaceTime with people, and we'll just view the property virtually, right? I've had some people that have purchased properties sight unseen based off of virtual tours, right? Or I have people where we go through processes, we do the virtual tour, we get trust and build that communication. Over time, I'm showing them properties, sending them ROIs on different, investments. And then we set up a date where they come for at least a weekend or a full week to view some options with me of the ones that we'd already narrowed down on, best investment, best ROI, what fits for their family, what community has the amenities they're looking for, because each of them has something different to offer. Some have more golf communities, some are more children friendly, some are more adult friendly, it just depends on what you're looking for. So we do that. Once they come, I'll, either set them up with a hotel, I'll help them, get drives, rides to where they need to go, or help them set them up with a hotel. And then from there, we view a couple properties, and then, potentially that weekend put in an offer. Or once they've seen the model, they like this model, like they like this home, they're like, Laura, if this model comes back up, let's go for it. These things are selling fairly quickly still, even with the market, slowing down or correcting itself, as I'd say. There's still, it's still pretty competitive. It's still somewhat a seller's market, even though we are dipping into a buyer's market. We still see sellers being able to sell for the price that they want. And, it's been a process, but with, again, the right lender, I've been able to negotiate a couple homes from their starting point. Like one of my clients recently closed on a 8-bedroom, 6-bath in Reunion, which is a vacation community. The list price was at $899, and I got it. No, it was $999, and I got it to $830. So that's about a good amount of reduction on the price.
You're a super realtor. Doubled as a travel agent almost. You're pulling out these deals for your clients.
So my job, I like to say that I'm a problem solver. Yeah. You have a problem, it's my job to solve it.
Yeah.
Been a therapist, been a nanny.
Yeah.
Anything you need, I'll really do. But yeah, like my biggest thing, and it's protecting my clients and making sure that, yes, we were in a crazy market, a year, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, but you don't have to be one of those other realtors that just throws in an offer, right? With a strong lender like Alex, they can call up the listing agent and tell them, hey, this is a for sure loan. If you give this to us, we can close it in X amount of time without having to go 50, 60, $100,000 over asking. I haven't, honestly, in these whole 2 years that the market's been it's been a crazy storm of highest and best. You're not going to get the home. Don't even look at it. If you're not putting, 20% down conventional, you're not going to get the home. No, I've had VA offers go through. I've had FHA offers go through. It's just knowing how to write up the good offer and having a good lender to back that offer. Yeah. Which is why I like to bring her up with you, because, you've called these people, you've sat there and put in the work as I did. So that's always beneficial. And that's why the process is, when we do put in our offer, we usually get the home that we want for the price that we accept. Right.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's almost the bare minimum, right? Like as your lender should be calling, your lender should be, guiding you. And speaking of guiding you, you might be thinking in the back of your head, how do I qualify to buy a home in Florida? So a few programs that I want to go over that would really benefit you and for your goals, depending on where you're at in your life. So If you're retired and you have an IRA and you're 59 and a half years of age or older, you can start taking out IRA distributions. So this is one piece. We also have an asset depletion program where we can take all of your assets and divide it over 360 and use that as your monthly payment. And we can also use any fixed income, pension income, any of that that you earn. These are all usable forms of income. So, retiring in Florida, this is huge. A lot of people who are up in the coastal cities, up in the Northeast, the Midwest, you're used to either going to the lake or you're going to the Jersey Shore, Long Island, Cape Cod, or if you're on the West Coast and the cost of living is a lot higher, and you'll save a lot on your cost of living, in Florida. So I think it's awesome to get down there. And if you're about loan programs, we have plenty of options here. I'm happy to help you with. So going back on to investing, because I want to touch a little bit on investing in programs if you're looking to buy there. A lot of people have asked me about house hacking, multi-units. So like, what's the multi-unit market like? So for example, I've worked with a client before who bought a triplex, and this triplex was their primary residence, and then they rented out the two other units. So tell me a little about maybe some communities in Florida where there's a lot of multi-unit opportunities.
So the coast, I say the beach, has the best multi-units. They do well. They rent at higher capacities than your general Orlando properties do. And you can find some for, I think I've seen a 6-unit property for about, I think 700 to 800. They're gems when you do find them, because you just revamp them and you can rent them up, every single unit for about between $2,000 each unit, and you're already paying your mortgage off and then some, pocketing the rest. It's just finding them and going for the offer. That's Daytona, New Smyrna, the beach. So St. Pete has a couple as well that are really nice. Those are a little more expensive because it's on the Gulf Coast and everyone wants to be near Tampa now, so everything's been increased over there. But it's still a beautiful coast, and you can find really great multifamily units for $1.2 million that still will have high rental capacity if you go for them. It's just finding them, and they may be a little distressed and need some work, but you can definitely do that, and it's a coastal property, and it'll definitely be a great asset to have if you can.
And like for some programs, if you're curious too on what you can do, there is an FHA option if you're looking to move there full time. But if you're looking to be a little more lucrative in your financing options, we absolutely have them. So we have a portfolio loan program where you can buy up to 12 properties at once. We have a profit and loss statement loan, which is huge. So no tax return, just a profit and loss statement from your CPA and a CPA letter to go along with it. We have 1-year tax return, which is conventional Freddie. And we have a 12-month bank statement loan, which takes all your bank statements, deposits, and we use that for your income. So if you're worried about if you don't have a traditional means of income, you're self-employed, we have options for you here. And if you're looking to invest in Florida, these are viable financing options. Do you see a lot of these lucrative, creative financing options in
no, and I love that you touched base about the bank statement loan, because it's a non-QMO, it's a non-conforming loan, which not a lot of people actually know about. And we've entered into COVID, changed the way people get employed and are working. We're becoming more entrepreneurial. We're working for Uber, we're working for ourselves, doing lash, whatever you're doing. If you're a lash tech, if you're a nail tech, if you are a realtor, or if you, own your own company, you can still get a home, even if you're not a W-2 employee. You can still access means to getting a loan, and not paying obnoxious amounts of money for it. I think they have, if you have a good enough credit, you can put as little as 10 to 15% down, which is still amazing. The opportunity is great to go into. I can't talk enough about how much I love a bank statement loan, because if your finances on paper aren't as, oh, I worked here, I did this, I got money from here, I get Uber, you know, $1,000 from Uber, $2,000 from Lyft, and like you make good income, you just can't show it like you normally would. It's a great way to access to a loan. And if the mortgage rate is, you know, happens to be a little higher than what you're comfortable with, you can always refinance in 6 months down to a conventional or FHA loan, which I'd always say conventional because 20% down and you don't have to pay your PMI. You have equity of 20%. So
Right.
it's definitely a great option.
And right, this all comes with, you know, experienced professionals and getting the proper guidance. You know, when you're working with, you know, people who have done this thousands of times, like we have, you know how to guide the customer. So it's very important to make sure that you are using professionals who are on top of their game and who are guiding you and aren't just seeing you as another paycheck. So it's all about guidance.
Alex, I'm going to go back to that. I do want to congratulate you on how much you actually do care about your clients. I've seen you know touch base a lot. You care about the experience that the client has, and the fact that you even go into non-QMOs. Bank statement loans are really hard because you're looking at each bank statement that that person brings to you for the next, I think, 12 months that it is, or is it 2 years? Yep. You look at them, you have to go through them and create a salary for that person. A lot of lenders don't offer that because they don't want to do the work that it takes to get into that. It's a lot of time consuming effort to do that type of loan, but realtors who want to help you and get it done for you will do that. And I mean, lenders will do that. And I've seen you know, we've worked with clients and I've seen how, you know, caring you are with them. And that's something that I value a lot in a lender, because sometimes, yes, you're just another loan to the person and you're just another, you know, check. And that's not how I do my business. I love my clients. I literally have conversations with them almost on a regular. I check in on them. When you buy a home with me, you're stuck for life. You basically have a new family member that will haunt you for the rest of your life. So just be aware of that. And you have to be have a good relationship with these people so that you can do that. Because if they get into a high loan or mortgage rate, you know, you can call them in 6 months or they'll call you and refinance with you, right? So that's return business. There's referral business there, but that's not why we do it. We also do it because we care about the person.
Exactly. And that's all it's about. You know, I genuinely believe in home ownership. I know you do. And I love people. A lot of people are in this business. They don't love people. I truly love people. And I see that with you as well. I trust you with all of my clients. Anyone that I know is moving or wants to go to Florida, you are my realtor. And, you know, I really appreciate you and everything. You do.
Likewise. I definitely feel that relationship, but it's more so because we care about the people we're serving, you know. I don't want to bring someone, you know, down here and not get them in the right loan, you know, not get them in the right home. And just because it's a commission check, tell them to go $60,000 over, you know, and stretch out their approval because we have the max. Yep. I'm always telling you, like, let's work with the numbers. Let's find a way to, you know, get credits where we can and do what we can to help the person. In every situation, you know, whether it be conventional FHA or a VA. I think that's super important about how we do our business for sure.
And speaking of conventional FHA, I want to touch a little bit on that, because if you're working a regular job, let's say you work for the postal service or you work for, you're an electrician and you're not in Florida. Well, it's always been your dream to move to Florida. How do you get financing for this? How can you actually do this? And, you know, this is something that I'm going to answer for you right now. Start your job search, go on Indeed, go on LinkedIn, get yourself an offer letter, go on down there, start looking for places. If you have to Airbnb for a month, something short-term, start your new job, get your first pay stub, and we can use your offer letter and your first pay stub. And that is enough to qualify you for the loan. So that's how you do it.
That's super important because I have a ton of people asking me who want to move to Florida, but they have their job in Boston, New Jersey, wherever it may be, right? But they have an opportunity to relocate because their job offers, you know, different offices, but they just don't know if that process is available to them. They don't know if they'd have to wait 2 years extra in that, you know, side of the company and to get a loan. And I've been asked that several times. So it's definitely good and important to know that they don't need 2 years. They need a month, you know, acceptance letter and your paycheck.
Yep.
And then I do want to confirm, like, let's say, you know, I get asked, like, can I actually own a property if I don't live in that state? And get the loan approved in that state? Yes, you can. All you need is realistically a loan officer that has a license in that state, a realtor. And what else would they need for the financing if they were going to get like a secondary investment property? Or
if they want to buy a second home, that's even easier. So if you already have your job up in whatever state you're in, you can, you know, use your income. If you already own a home in your state, you can have your mortgage. Everything will be counted with your new payment on the loan application, and you'll be approved based on your new monthly payment. So nothing really changes, and you can buy a second home with as low as 10% down. So you don't need full 20%.
That is awesome. And I have a question. Let's say I have my secondary home, but it's an investment property. So it's kind of like income producing. Can I use that income, you know, to bring up or move around the debt to income, like once we close? Or is there any possibility of that? Like, let's say I do live in New York, but I do want that investment property in New Smyrna on the coast, that multifamily. Can I use the income from that multifamily, you know, to show income while I'm purchasing?
So that's a great question. And here's the answer to that. So if you are looking to buy an investment and you need something to subsidize that payment, you can use a signed lease agreement. Or if you have your home out of state and you want to keep it, you can get a signed lease agreement for your current home and then move to the Florida home. So, you know, if you're worried, like, I really don't want to sell my house, I'm not quite ready. Well, first, let's see if you qualify to keep the house. And then if you don't qualify by keeping the house, you can get a lease agreement signed for your current home, keep it as a rental. And the new house, if you want to buy it as an investment and rent it right away, you need a signed lease agreement.
Yeah.
And the term does have to be 12 months.
Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to know if you could use it, you know, as supplemental like income as well, so that, you know, you're not too high of a debt to income ratio if purchasing that type of investment.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like I see this more often with like multifamilies. Like if someone wants to buy a multifamily, they can't qualify for it with just their income alone. You take the duplex or the other unit, and you get signed lease agreements prior to move-in.
Okay, perfect. That's definitely great information. I have a lot of clients that are like, I don't know if I would get it alone, but I do want this duplex and I want to live in a part of it. Can we make something work here, or, you know, make it happen? And I'm glad to hear that we can. So that's definitely something that's essential to know.
Yeah. And then moving in, I know we touched on it a little bit earlier, but new construction. So you know, a little of my background, I worked for a big, you know, multinational builder for numerous years, and Florida's a hot spot for new construction. You know, you talked about this a little bit before. So, you know, from my experience, sometimes these could take 3 months to build. Sometimes they're already built, and for whatever reason, the financing didn't work out, or whatever, the deal didn't work out with the other person. Or sometimes these could take a year to build. Tell me a little bit about new construction, and we'll go over some financing options for you with new construction.
So I love new construction. I especially love it for my first time home buyers that, you know, they want the perfect home for the least amount of money. And I say that because why I say that is because new construction, it's brand new. You're having a new AC system, a new water heater, a new everything electrical is new, brand new roof. When you're a first time home buyer, you kind of want to go into that because you've never dealt with a roof, you know, expiring or out of date, and everything scares you at that point. And it's great because you get warranties with the builders, and it kind of just solidifies the purchase a little more. And they're typically a little cheaper. I can get you a new construction around Orlando and the outskirts for like $350, $340, $4.2. Literally have someone under contract for that right now.
Wow.
So it's better priced. But on the loan side, I don't like builders, lenders. I don't like them. They don't put in the work to get you approved, right? If you're not under their A, B, C categories, if you're not the A, they're just not going to work with you. You know, you have to have like that 70 to 80K a year salary with the perfect credit score to even get approved through them. And that's not necessarily what you always need. But these lenders work at such a high volume because they're just getting a ton of clientele, but they don't care who you are. You become that number. Oh, we can get them approved. Okay, sell it to someone else who can, you know? And they do incentivize and they do offer, you know, they paint you they basically paint you a whole mosaic and you're like, I love it. But then when you go down to it, it doesn't work, right? So I like to be realistic when we go into those situations and get as many of the builders things that I can. Like if I can get the price reduced a little more, perfect. If I can get, you know, them to incentivize my lender, great. But you don't have to necessarily go with their lender, you know? I feel like there's great options that you could, Alex, even provide that would help them get into it, lock them into the, you know, when you do it with a lender through like a builder, you're not locked into a rate. So they tell you, yeah, you're locked. Look, the home's yours. The home's yours. The mortgage rate you just put, you know, you were promised, you know, back in COVID days were like 3.75. That's not it. That's not it right now. You know, we're working with a little higher.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Because like, you know, when I worked for a builder, we were incentivized to lock long term, right? So a big program that we pushed was a 365-day lock program. But, you know, cross country, and a big reason why I'm here is to still touch on that business. And if you are buying new construction and you need to lock out for a year, we can do that in-house here. And we can also do those creative loans. So, you know, builders, like you said, they don't touch the bank statement loans or profit and loss statement loans. Anything that's not, you know, cookie cutter, even FHA, we can go lower. A lot of times builder minimums are between 580 and 620, where we can go as low as 500. So if your credit score, you know, you're working on it and you're at a 500 credit score, we have an FHA option for you. So yeah, we can, you know, our guidelines are definitely, we definitely are more open with what we can offer you as a builder. So definitely have that tool in your arsenal, especially, you know, for yourself, Laura, if you are trying to match a property for someone and they want to do new construction, you have a contact. And if you work for a builder or if you know agents who, you know, are part of the sales teams at these communities, they're always looking for help they want more sales too. You know, they're realtors. So having an option for them or for yourself to offer your clients to get them one of these brand new homes, it makes all the difference for your business, their business, and the clients, because everyone's happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. And that's what I look for in a lender. And that's again why I work with you. I want a lender that's going to put the work in that's necessary to satisfy the client that we've got, right? Because it means the world to me when we close that home. And it's to some people, new construction, they never thought they could own a home, let alone a new build, right? So that process is insane. And that the fact that you don't have to take the cookie cutter loans that you can drop down to 500 is insane. Like that, I didn't even know that you can go that low. I thought you 520 and it was a cutoff. Like,
yeah, 500. It's crazy. So like, you know, if you're looking at 500 credit score, typically it's gonna be 10% down. So, but once you get to 580, that's when it starts at 3.5% down. So if you guys didn't know, for conventional, you can go as low as 3% down. And for FHA, which is a government insured loan, you can put as low as 3.5% down on the new home as a down payment.
Okay, so 3.5% down for what was the mortgage, the credit that they needed?
So for 500, you're looking at 10% down. And then once you get to a 580, you can do 3.5% down for FHA.
Okay, that's awesome. That's amazing to know as well, because I mean, it'll incentivize you have time to fix your credit when you're in a new construction. Because like you mentioned again, you purchase the home, you're under contract, and it takes 12 months to build. In those 12 months, you can significantly raise your credit, you know, at least get the home and lock. We can always, once we close, we have to pull your credit and your whole information all over again to get you to closing, right? So I think an aspect I like about new construction as well is it gives you time to either round up the money that you need or raise your credit score to a comfortable point. for the loan process.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to touch again on like minimum guidelines for conventional, which are your standard conforming loan, it's going to be 620. It's going to be the minimum credit score.
Okay, 620 for your conventional.
Conventional, yeah.
Okay, and that's still not bad. I mean, that's where I feel like most people are. But if you don't have the perfect credit score, we can still do things. I think you've done like rapid rescores, or there's other things we can do to help work around it.
Yes.
If not, that program I feel has been insane for some of my transactions. Like they were just at the cusp of having a bad, decent credit, and you guys helped them and bumped them up to where they needed to be. So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so we have complimentary credit services here. So if we need to get your score up, right, we can do it pretty quick. We have a program called Wayfinder, and that's complimentary with CrossCountry. We can use Wayfinder, and we can tell you step by step what you need to do to increase your credit where it needs to be. So this is something we use all the time to help out clients, and it's just another benefit of working with us.
Yeah, and I honestly think that's incredible, because when I first got into real estate, I didn't know lenders could just, by communicating with them and telling them a bit about your situation, could help you track. Let's say you just started searching and you're not sure where you need to be, and you don't think it's important to talk to a lender, but you contact a realtor to see homes. I feel like it's very important to first contact the lender, or if not, listen to your realtor when they're sick. Just listen to them, give them the application, because they will fundamentally set up the steps that you need to get the loan. If you're not ready now, you will be ready, and they'll help you, or at least put you on the right path to be ready. And you don't have to pay a creditor or a person to do that, hundreds of dollars every 6 months or a month to do it. You can honestly do it yourself. So I think that was an awesome thing to learn.
Absolutely. So let's go into a little bit about jumbo. So you've probably heard before, what is jumbo? So from mortgage perspective, it's anything outside of, it's called a county loan limit. And the government has every county in the whole entire country, and they say, hey, this is the limit you can lend at. It's called conforming, and then non-conforming is your jumbo. So Florida, I'm pretty sure most counties in Florida are at the minimum loan limit. Do you know any that might be higher? I think like even Broward and like Miami-Dade are lower than like the West Coast.
I believe anything, it depends. We are basically general at minimum, but I know that Miami might be a little different just because of their scale, but I'm not fully sure on that.
So let's see. So, and I'm just going to edit this, Laura.
No worries, you're fine. Thank you.
Yeah, conforming loan limit is, see if that's, all right. So there's two numbers you need to keep in mind here. Your regular government, your regular conventional loan is going to be able to go up to 600,000. Wait, I can't even talk. 647,200. All right. So your, standard conforming conventional loan can go all the way up to $647,200. If you're over that, you're going to have to go jumbo. And FHA also has a limit too, which depending on the county, again, typically in Florida, that's around 420,000. So just be mindful of this. But tell us a little about more of these higher price homes. And what are some more of high-end areas in the great state of Florida?
I love this conversation. I love my higher price properties as much as I love my 350s, 250s properties. It's just, you get a little bit bang for your buck when you come from obviously up north, where your properties, I think an apartment in New York is like $5 million for like 600 square feet. Here,
Yeah.
here it's a little different. Things have increased over the past year, and for the general Floridian, things are a little higher. But $1 million, or like let's say 1.2, in the Orlando area can get you a gorgeous, probably 3,000 square foot property with a pool, in a gated community like Windermere. Lake Nona is one of them. They have the community in Lake Nona has just been built up to be family friendly. You go and it's doctors. It has 3 hospitals. It has the VA, the Children's Hospital, and the university out there for medicine. I think it's UCF. And it's just your neighbor's a doctor, your other neighbor's a lawyer. The people who you're networking is just at a different tax bracket. I'd say that's probably not the best thing to say, but yeah, they generally grew that community for families, and it's truly safe. So Lake Nona is one of my favorites. And then you go over to Dr. Phillips, which is the Windermere area. You have Winter Park, which is to me one of my it's close to home because it has the best food. For me, it's more like the family. When you come to Florida and everyone, they have this stereotypical Orlando's just, Disney, vacation, Chili's, and McDonald's and Walmart. No, the Winter Park area offers and caters to more family and mom and pop shops. It's the more historic area that people who visit don't actually know about. And the homes are gorgeous. And you can get beautiful lake view properties for about 1.5 million, which comparing it to a home in New York or New Jersey is fair. You're getting 3,000 square feet on a lake, with all up and the bells and whistles. It's different, and it hits different, and it's still a gorgeous community. It's more art district. It's eclectic. The restaurants are amazing. It's just a vibe. And you go down south and we have Miami.
Right.
Miami is one of my favorite places if you're trying to have fun, splurge, luxury. It adheres to almost everything. So over there, you'll find, properties get more expensive, properties get smaller, but still you can get a beachfront property for around 3 million to 2 million, just depending on, what the home has. They're high priced, but compared to places I've seen in Boston, where my friend's buying now, she's getting, I think, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $999,000.
Yeah,
and that's
you're getting way more bang for your buck. Yeah,
it's not much. It's literally almost looks like a townhome.
Right.
You get gorgeous beach view property. So it's definitely different, and it's definitely an eyesore when you go from there and see how much of a home you're actually getting done here for your buck. So,
and what about how about Naples or Sarasota, some of those areas? That's another
I love Naples and I love Sarasota. It's passing Tampa. I have family there. Super safe communities, more so residential properties there. Yeah, they typically go for, if you want something on the beach, anywhere from 2 million to 3 million. So I've even seen some gorgeous home for 11 million. Obviously, it's huge, but they are literally breathtaking mansions. The lifestyle there's more beach, it's more calm. It's luxury, and luxury meets boho beach chic. It's honestly where people go to vacation and relax. And now that you mentioned that side, I love Destin, gorgeous location. It's up Florida. It's close. It's the Panhandle. It's literally the top part.
Oh wow.
Gorgeous beaches, gorgeous homes. It's a huge vacation destination for people from literally the South. It's really close to Alabama. It's really close to Texas, and Georgia. So people, typically go there very quickly. And the properties that they're anywhere are a little cheaper. They're in the 1.2, 1.3. And you can get a gorgeous beachfront property that you can rent out and create income on. And they're breathtaking beaches. It's the Gulf Coast. So it's just amazing.
Wow. So this is amazing. Now you know the whole state of Florida if you watch this through, and now you know how to buy a house in Florida, how you can qualify for one. So I think we went over a lot, Laura. Any other pieces you want to touch on?
On my end, mostly it's just, what would be the step? What information for a secondary home, let's say, would you need from me step by step, play by? If I was the client. what documents, what would I have to be mentally prepared for going into that? I get that asked a lot. And as a realtor, I legally, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I need these documents, because that's not my, playing field.
This question's hard. Like, it's hard because everyone's situation is a little bit different, right? So, the standard, 2 most recent pay stubs, 2 years of W-2s, copy of your ID, 2 most recent bank statements, right? Those are like the 6 items I love to get up front. Now, it changed a little bit if you're self-employed. Self-employed more than 5 years, usually we only need 1 year of tax returns. A lot of people say, hey, give me 2. 1 year for a lot of conventional programs. So to be safe, sometimes I'll ask for 2. Most times it's 1 year, depending how long they've been in business, your 2 months of bank statements, your ID. So it really depends, again, on your situation as a client. But, Laura, when you're, asking clients, or when a client asks you, hey, what should I prepare for when I'm getting pre-approved? It should be, hey, like, depending on your situation, my lender typically asks for your, 2 most recent pay stubs, bank statements, W-2s, ID, self-employed, prepare them for 2 years of tax returns just in case.
Yeah. And with that said, that's awesome, because I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that they can start the process with like basic information that you need for, your general home in the state that they live in. A lot of people think that it's more extensive and it's more complicated, and they're going to need a general 20% down for everything, and I don't think that's always it. I think there's options and ways you can do it if you have the right lender and the right partners working with you behind your back, trying to set you up for gold when purchasing.
If you're looking to buy in Florida, you don't need 20% down. If you're looking to buy in Florida, you don't need 800 credit.
You don't say. I don't need almost 100K just to purchase home. Okay, sounds good. Sign me up.
Yeah. So there's more options than you think that are out there. So it's great. Awesome. Laura, how can people find you?
How can people find me?
What's your social media handles?
My social media handle on Instagram, it's La Laurita 45. I think that's it. No, actually, it just changed. Freak. Okay. So if you guys want to follow me, my Instagram is Laura.Ortiz.RE.
All right, I'm gonna have that on the screen too, so it's gonna pop up.
No, just leave that. Edit this part out where I'm talking. I hate when people ask me like to reintroduce myself. Information, I'm great. Personal stuff, I'm like, don't find me. Kidding. My phone number. Do you want me to do that again?
I'm gonna have all your info anyway.
Okay.
So all right, people want to follow you, Instagram, follow Laura, posting all types of real estate and fun content.
No, it's more so beach pics. I'm kidding. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Laura Ortiz.RE. And if you need my phone number or my contact, I think we'll have a link down here somewhere for you to go message me or text me or follow and subscribe.
Yeah.
Just hit the like button.
Hit the like button, yeah. And then if you are looking to find me, you can find me at Pagano team, all over on there. So I thought this was amazing. We went over a ton. If you need more help, have any questions, even if you think it's a small question, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to assist you.
Yeah. And we look forward to becoming your preferred lender and realtor in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, this was fun, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me, Alex. I loved it. You have a great day. Okay?
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and take care.
Bye.